think I trip cross the speeding. But before me, girl, if you feel it. Tell me really rock with the realest. Man, I run down, girl, I run down, girl. It's just so cafe down the London Palace. Can't scream my name, cause they know I'm the baddest. Sweet girl, just wine for me. Bubble up your waist, girl, just grind on me. I love how you're taking your time with me. Soon like you wanna have my baby day.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Good morning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The time is now 7:20. Just like to say good morning to everyone on their way to work, school, just starting the day. Everyone within the sound of my voice, good morning this morning. It's Friday. Christal, unfortunately, isn't here as yet, but she will be here for the next segment. So it's just me, Ari, this morning, keeping you until 7:45, where I'll be joined by Christal. Starting this morning, just want to acknowledge some good news, because not every morning we get to start on a good note. But the government is set to pay $500 to the students successful in their 2023 exams. So the story can be found on One News St. Vincent, and it reads, students who start the 2023 examinations for their CSEC, CAPE, and Associate's degree will on Friday, February 9th, 2024, be presented with the $500 gift award for their outstanding performance. Here are the details from a press release circulated today, which would have been yesterday, by the Ministry of Education. To be eligible for the award, CSEC students must have gained 5 passes grades 1 to 3, including mathematics and English A. CAPE students must have gained passes grades 1 to 5 in at least 2 unit subjects, as well as a single unit communication studies or Caribbean studies in 2 consecutive years. Students in the various associate degree programs must have gained at least a B average. Teacher education programs requires a GPA of at least 2.75, and the total number of recipients is 795, categorized in the following manner: CSEC 437, CAPE 203, associate degrees 124. Of the recipients who gain associate degrees and are identified to receive the award from St. Vincent and Grenadines Community College, 124 are from the divisions of Arts, Sciences, and General Studies, and the Division of Technical and Vocational Education, 31 from the Teacher Education. Recipients of the award are asked to present themselves at the Villa campus at St. Vincent and Grenadines Community College at the Villa campus at 9 a.m. February 9th, 2024, with proof of identity bearing a photograph. The Ministry of Education and National Reconciliation acknowledge the invaluable contribution made by stakeholders and partners to the enterprise of education. The foregoing is the fulfillment of an obligation to reward all students whose performance meets established standards and excellence. I remember when we were receiving the $500 for our, should I say academic success? Yes, academic success. And I remember how good it felt leaving there with the $1,000, 500 for CSEC and 500 for CAPE. And good morning, Joshua, and those locked in on the WhatsApp this morning. And I really do hope that the government does keep this initiative, because I strongly believe that it encourages students to keep pressing on and achieving excellence. I mean, 795 students are a lot of students to have met the criteria, and I do hope that the number continues to increase as the years go by. In other news, came across a story here on Searchlight today that says PM knocks Kingstown Tugboat's treatment of vendors. So it reads, the Prime Minister, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, has wrapped the knuckles of officials at the Kingstown Town Board for threatening to remove vendors who are in default of their payments for vending in Kingstown. And this story is found on Searchlight today. Speaking on NBC Radio on Wednesday, January 31st, the Prime Minister said he saw a report that somebody from the town board said they're going to throw people out if they don't pay. He made it clear that this move is contrary to what he said in his independence address last October when he promised some relief for these vendors. Well, wait until the relief is sorted out now. Shoulder can't go above head, the Prime Minister commented. This issue with the vendors was brought to light in an article Vendors Told to Pay Up Due Fees or Go that was published in the January 19th weekend edition of the Searchlight. The article highlighted the concerns raised by vendors mainly at the vegetable market after they received a letter from the Kingstown Town Board informing them to pay outstanding fees. The letter, which was dated January 16th, 2024, stated in part, "Let me remind you that as long as you are in occupation of a space in the town, you are required to pay fees." The letter was signed by Warden of Kingstown, Clayton Borgin, a former minister of government. Vendors in the vegetable market are charged $5 a day and are required to make their payments weekly. But one vendor who had arrears in excess of $480 related that nobody does come in here to buy anything. Only those at the entrance get sales. So how we at the back of the market supposed to get the money? There are other issues of facilities that fall under the jurisdiction of the Kingstown Town Board who are set to have arrears of up to $10,000. On Wednesday, Dr. Gonzalez did not state the source of his information nor held any particular official at the town board accountable for the apparent blunder. We have good people at town board, he said, adding that the warden of the Kingstown Town Board is doing a splendid job. My question this morning now to you, the listeners, is the persons at the town board responsible or are the vendors responsible? Because in a case of this, the town board then has to make money and the cycle continues. So if the vendors are occupying the space and not paying, how would the town board continue to function? How would they be able to pay cleaners? How would they be able to afford refurbishment if necessary? How would they, I may stand correctly, the town board is responsible for the three markets in town: the Kingstown Vegetable Market, the Old Market, and the market around that Grave Supermarket close to Massey Kingstown. The market up the road close to KFC there. I'm pretty sure that the town board is responsible for all of those. But on the flip side, if it is that vendors are still occupying spaces along the streets or nearby markets, and it prevents persons or it deters persons from going into the markets, how is it that the vendors in the market are supposed to make sales and be able to pay their rental fees for their stalls? Or is it that we need a new innovative way to draw people into the markets and deter persons from going outside or to the vendors on the outside of the market, on the outskirts of the market, or just along the streets of Kingstown? It's a kind of tricky situation for the markets to be in, for the Kingstown Town Board to be in. But then who made the blunder where the Prime Minister said he's offering relief? Who made the blunder to then go and request these funds? There has to be a breakdown in communication somewhere, but hopefully this is rectified sooner than later. I'd like to remind the listeners that this is an interactive program and the number to call is 457-9997. Also the number to WhatsApp is 457-9997. So this is a very interesting one. And it comes off the back of the two people charged with selling fish on the sidewalk in Kingstown. Now, this article was on Eyewitness News the 25th of January, and it noted that two persons had appeared in court charged with selling fish illegal on the sidewalks. On Thursday, Police said that they arrested and charged Beverly Bino Douglas, a 51-year-old vendor of Raylan Hill, for engaging in commercial activity by selling fish in contravention of the Kingstown and Country Planning Zone Area Declaration of the Kingstown Order. Police said the offense was committed on Wednesday about 8:15 a.m. in Kingstown. The defendant appeared before the Kingstown Magistrates Court on Thursday and pleaded guilty to the charge. Senior Magistrate Colin John bonded her to keep the peace for 6 months in the sum of $500. If Bino Douglas breaches the bond, she must pay $500 forthwith or go to prison for 3 months. This is another tricky one because no one really and truly should not be selling fish on the sidewalks. It's not sanitary and it defeats the purpose of the fish market, don't you think? But then again, can persons afford to do differently? Can persons, I don't know the price for the fish market, but we just read that the price for the vegetable market is $5. So let's assume it's around the same area. Are vendors actually making enough money to restock, to take care of their families, and to meet rent at the end of the day? It sounds like they're not if they're resulting in selling on the sidewalks, if it is that the vegetable market has a lot of vendors in arrears, and some people have to pay up to $480. What can be done now to improve the traffic at these different areas? That's a question we need to ponder, and I do hope that we do find a solution shortly. At 7:35, we have a traffic talk. And at 7:45, we'll be back with Activated Mornings this morning, where Christal will be joining me.
General Hardware still has the